We are not living in a human society. We are human beings, all right, but we are not living in a human society. We are living in a jungle where each and every one of us is struggling and want to do anything to survive. If you create a jungle for human beings to live in, don't expect the human beings to live like human beings because you have created a jungle for them. So expect them to live like animals because animals are the ones who are supposed to be living in jungles. What you are saying? So if you want human beings to behave like human beings, you create a human society for them. I came across a video which I want each and every one of us to have a look at. Yenhwe na yentie emu ensem no eye. Na seriya sanya mu nyina munim no. Machire madwen. Yenhwe video no.
The ethics of leadership go.
Brilliant. Yeah, excellent. Nokro ho yento sebi. Nokro ho yento sebi. Ensem a man no waka no nyina no eye nokre eye the pure truth. Eye excellent. Amazing concise presentation. Eye short but ensemu a okan no nyina ye ensemu a semino me no both our leaders and we the citizens say tie no asompemu na say ye de ye adwuma ebetimi aboa yen in moving forward. Yeah. Na ensemu a okan ye no or say when will we be able to get out of this? Who taught us that? This kind of mess ya create ama ye ho no hwan kra na kire yen. Na say na mesi ehu no. Ensema okaye no nyina no AC because we are not living in a human society as Africans. Me ba be church remose. We are not living in a human society. We are human beings, all right, but we are not living in a human society. We are living in a jungle where each and every one of us is struggling and want to do anything to survive. If you create a jungle for human beings to live in, don't expect the human beings to live like human beings because you have created a jungle for them. So expect them to live like animals because animals are the ones who are supposed to be living in jungles. What you are saying? So if you want human beings to behave like human beings, you create a human society for them.
Hello, we're from dropping. Tinasi, ahun kemle. Na wenya beche metan riding ho. Smooth, fully nyanya.
As we're fraud then.
Missy, we're from dropping. Menkaji wejiban and fambra wana.
Dropping.
Manfa u parcel unko ana menkaji mbra wana.
Dropping.
Mankafa u mafraba mbra wana.
Dropping.
Menkaji u groceries mbra wana.
Dropping.
Laundry, makwa bantam dodo. Kwana biya ewo whole Ghana. Go Play Store ana App Store. Na download Droppin. DROPYN.
Dropping.
Not from within a minute. Na mo bohode.
Dropping.
Menso ya wagana ha bebia. Yejuma ya sonko. Wa from Droppin. Masa ya watan. Chale moku take Droppin.
But this is whereby Africa, our leaders have not been able to create a human society for us. So we are human beings living in a jungle. That is why, excuse me to say, most of us behave like animals in the wild. Because we are hungry. Because we are desperate. Because we are poor. Because we are living on survival instincts. Inti minyawa mebu menweho minya abansika mefa menweho because each and every one of us is placed on a survival mode. If you want human beings to live like human beings, I repeat, you don't create a jungle for them. You rather create a human society for them. When you create for them a human society, they'll begin to behave and act like human beings. But when you create for them a jungle, don't expect them to behave like human beings. Expect them to behave like animals because jungle is meant for animal survival. There is no system to guide us to do the right thing. We don't even teach patriotism in our schools. Your upbringing, the way you see attitude, your educational system, everything about us is wrong. It looks as if we got everything wrong. Most part of our culture is wrong. Yentete ye wrong. The way you see a psyche ye wrong. You find a parent teaching na kwada ne say yere ho na ko school ka ma eja owia ubenya aban adwuma bi aye se na be adaachi bi ubetimi ababehwe yen enye se daachi bi ubetimi aboa o my Ghana o daachi bi ubetimi ababehwe yen enti right from the word go no we plant seeds of selfishness in our minds. Right from the word go no we plant seeds of survival in our mentality. Just go to school. When you are done with school, you'll be lucky enough to have a job so that you'll be able to assist with the family. You will not be able to help the country. You will not be able to be productive to the country. You'll be able to help or assist with the family. Until right from Ashasiya Nankasano, you planted seeds of selfishness in the minds of our younger generation. Now, omwana enyi your future leaders. Entini se obaya omampenia na duane se adia e wo se oyane se otimi making enough money to be able to take care of himself and his family, because that was what he or she was taught right from the word go. We don't teach patriotism. We don't teach service to the nation. We don't teach governance. Say, obey omampenia. You are there to serve the people and not to serve yourself. Neither are you there to serve your family or your selfish interests. You are there to work in the interest of each and every one of us. Na down fubi, ebe minister pena wo dimirika. Na waso ne bansa, chale kwa ku se de, chale. Ohun atopa o sa amre ya. Wabe minister de chale we de bomodi na boaye. Me wo fa se ni me bani asumasi ni bomodi na boaye. Enti your society na kasa ya create no. Your society no, it doesn't support nationalism. Our society does not condone nationalism. It promotes selfish interest. It puts each and every one of us on survival modes. Where is the system? Where is the working system to guide black people to do the right thing? That is why I always say we are our own enemies. And I'll keep saying it. So we black people, we Ghanaians, we are our own enemies. Because if you don't have an internal enemy, the external enemy can never succeed in destabilizing you. What am I saying? If you don't have an internal enemy, the external enemy will never succeed in making your lives miserable. It once a brofonum puyamfanesa associated in making our lives miserable. No, now enokrampudi adance here say we have internal enemies which we have to be able to fix as a people. We don't respect each other. We don't love each other. The Asante man is looking down on the other person. The other person is looking down on the Asante person. The Ga person is looking down on the Fanti. And the Fanti is likewise looking down on the Ga person. Meanwhile, we all have the same color. We have the same blood running through our veins. We have a common goal. We are going through the same financial crisis. We are passing through the same difficulties each and every day. But right here in our impoverished, in our poor countries, we discriminate against one another. If you want to see the nature and the true attitude of the black man, give him power. And he will use that power to destroy the lives of his people, instead of using the power to uplift the lives of his people. Obey use our power, no? And they assigning comfort, and they assigning crew, and they assigning country.
Okay, man. Anybody who there for this country, where they live for Nigeria, I better respect that person. Because if you there for this Nigeria, you are very strong. We not feel achieve anything without stress. Hey, BVN, even palliative, even they give them palliative, make them share us, they still hide them. We still stress ourselves, go collect and loot up. Nah, fuel, see fuel. People not see fuel, oh. They not see fuel by. Since yesterday, some people sleep here. People where they work for free station now, it don't pass people waiting for Nigeria. Everywhere blocked. Nigeria is a scam. On Saturday, fuel day. On Sunday, fuel day. I just wake up. We just wake up on Monday. Fuel no day again. Can you say one day we go wake up? We no go see this country again. They go thief this. They will carry the country come out. See, bro, video people. See cast, bro, video me. If you video me, video cast, come video cast. See cast. Now so they lie, fool. People when they fight their daily bread, they drag fuel. They drag fuel. Fuel where they go use their money buy. You say this country, guys, you see me now. I they go Burkina Faso. I go enter Ghana.
We love power. We are hungry for power. We are desperate for power. The American president is not even called His Excellency. The American president, a whole US president, is not even called His Excellency. MPs and ministers in US are not called honorables. But here in Africa, we give ourselves all the titles. Excellency, honorable, this and that. We give ourselves all the titles. Why? Because we are hungry for power. We are desperate for power. Not to improve on the lives of our people. Not to uplift the lives of our people. Not to improve or develop our countries. But to exploit each other. To sell each other out to our foreign enemies. To open our gates for foreigners to come in and exploit our people, to collapse our industries, to destroy our economies, to make our lives unbearable, to make our countries unbearable for each and every one of us to live and thrive. What is wrong with us? Who taught us this? Who taught us to hate ourselves? Who taught us to hate everything that we've got? Who taught us to hate our culture? Who taught us to hate our color? Who taught us to hate our clothes? To hate our customs and traditions? Who taught us? Who taught us to hate and dislike our belief systems? Who taught us? Who taught us to hate our medicines? Who taught us to hate our herbalists? Who taught us to hate everything that make us a people? And love everything that we know nothing about. Love foreign products, love foreign customs, love foreign traditions that we don't even understand. Who taught us this? Who taught us to look down on each other based on how we are dressed or based on how we look? Who taught us this? It's a difficult situation and a very sophisticated problem that we as a people find ourselves in. And until our leaders are able to create a system to change each and every, to change the psyche and the mindset of each and every African or each and every Ghanaian, to be able to dissolve and re-establish our educational system. Let us teach patriotism and put religious and moral education aside. Let us begin to teach reality and stop the pi r square and things which has no connection to reality. Until we are able to completely change our system and put in place systems that will be able to help us or guide us to behave as a people, until we are able to create a human society for ourselves, Africa will continue to remain a jungle, and black people will continue to be slaves in their own mindset, will continue to be comfortable slaves to the other races. The Arabs don't respect us, the whites don't, the Asians don't, nobody does. Why? Because we don't even respect ourselves. Neither do we respect and value what we have. And if you don't respect yourself, don't expect anybody to respect you. If you don't respect yourself, don't expect the other races to recognize or respect you. Charity begins at home. Who taught us this? And how will we be able to get out of this? Like I've said, by changing our educational system. Each and everything begins with education. When a child is born, the brain is virtually empty. If a child is born, or when a child is born, the brain is virtually empty. We are the ones to program the brains or the mind of the child. So whichever programming we put in the mind of the child right from the word go, is what will make the child be who he or she will be in the future. The kind of attitude, the kind of attitude that we black people put up in our societies is as a result of the programming we are given right after birth. So we must change that programming. We must change that narrative. We must change our educational system and put in place measures, put in place good programs, good systems that will be able to tune our mind towards nationalism, tune our minds towards patriotism, and let our laws and our justice systems work. By so doing, gradually, we will be able to create a human society for ourselves. And that's the only time that most black people, I'll not say all, but most black people will begin to behave like rational human beings, because that is why some people say that if you want a woman to behave like an angel, if you want a woman to behave like a wife, you create a home for her. Don't go and put a woman in the club and expect her to behave like a wife. Don't put a woman on the street and expect her to behave like a wife. You put her in a home and create a conducive home for her, and she'll begin to behave like a wife. So if you want black people to behave like human beings, create a human society for them. And each and every one of us have got to be involved, beginning with our leaders, our chiefs, our traditional rulers, stakeholders, down to the last person within that kind of pyramid, the last citizen, the ordinary person. Each and every one of us have got a role to play. Our leaders must be able to put in place measures. Let us change how we educate our people. Let us change how we do our things, and let our laws work. Let the law enforcement work in our societies. Let us begin to create a human society for ourselves. That is the only time that black people will be able to behave and act like rational, reasonable human beings. But until then, each and every one of us is on a survival mode. Nobody is taught to be patriotic. Nobody is taught to love this nation. Nobody is taught to be law-abiding. Nobody is taught his or her basic human rights. And you expect such a people to be patriotic? You expect such a people to behave like human beings? It doesn't work like that. Let us begin to change the narrative. Let us begin to change the way we do our things. And by so doing, we will be able to change the mentality of our people. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Abusuafo medemo ebesia. Sani amu nyina mu nimno. Midin Eddie George Freemind. Ebinum so Ephraim Chairman Freemind. Have a lovely weekend. Makramo.